Hi everyone, Jim Peters here. This is the first in a series about AI tools that I've been testing and finding use for in our business, and I wanted to take the opportunity to share some of these things with you. When most of us think about using AI, we often think about ChatGPT, and while it's true that ChatGPT can be useful, there are thousands of other new AI tools being released every month. So I wanted to start and show you something else other than ChatGPT that I find value in. In one of the future posts here, I will share some of how I'm using ChatGPT. But let's first start with this tool that converts audio to text. And I think it does quite a good job at converting the audio to text. I've been using this tool called AssemblyAI for a research project that I've been doing on leadership. Essentially, what I've been doing is studying the Leadership podcast, which is hosted by Jan Rutherford and Jim Vasilopoulos. And Jim and Jan have studied over 400 great leaders right now and interviewed them on the podcast. So I figured that provided a great opportunity to learn more about leadership from these great leaders. But I needed a way to summarize that content, and just listening to the podcast and taking notes, I found that I had to pause the podcast frequently to record my notes. And so I went looking for a way to convert that audio to text so I could have it in front of me while listening to the podcast. So I went searching and I found AssemblyAI, and this has been amazing. I've now run 400 podcasts through this tool, and I can confirm that it's 99% or better accurate in its conversions of the audio to text. So let me jump in here and show you how it works. I've been using this playground feature, which requires some manual work, but you can upload your audio file manually. You need to do it one by one. And so let's take this podcast number 394. I'm going to upload that file here. And while the file is uploading, I'm going to pick one or more of these models that I want the AI to run. So I want to pick summarization, so to give me a summary of the content. I'm going to skip a few of these, but you can see some of the options here, like auto chapters or filtering out profanity, highlighting some important phrases. I want to pick the sentiment analysis. I find that somewhat interesting, although not terribly valuable. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. And I also want to pick speaker labels just to organize the content. So you see multiple options here to choose. I'm just going to pick those three. And okay, there we go. So Assembly has taken all that audio and done the transcript here on the left, as you can see, organized by the speakers. In the middle here, top middle, you see the sentiment analysis. Like I said, not terribly valuable. It's just highlighting positive and negative sentences. And then if you recall, I also asked it to summarize the text, which it gave me that summary. On the right side here, this use lemur, they built some generative AI in, so I could ask this content questions if I like. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy out this podcast text here, and I'm going to move that into a document that I've set up. Okay, now you can see the result. I have a document here that is completely searchable that I can have on the screen while I am reviewing the podcast and copy relevant text out. So before we wrap, let me share one other use case for this AssemblyAI tool that I've used it for. So recently I did some training for some engineers explaining how to do signal timings. We did the training face to face, and while we were doing the training, we just recorded the audio so that after the training, we put it into AssemblyAI Playground here, converted that audio to text, and now those engineers have a searchable document they can use when they have questions about any of the parameters or signal timing techniques that we discussed during the training. So maybe you'll find that useful, or maybe you'll find a way to record audio of a meeting, run it through AssemblyAI to convert it to text, and do your meeting summary off of that. So that's all I have for this week. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the day.